do believe there is a spiritual message in these scriptures. Because the way he said, beloved, do not believe every spirit. Now, I want you to know that spirits talk. Our spirits communicate. And that's why John is saying we have to test the spirits. We got to try the spirits, as King James Version says. Try the spirits to see whether they be of God.
Abuse your grace, God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. I don't want to abuse your grace, God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. I don't want to abuse your grace, God. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. I don't want to abuse your grace, God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. Your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. Yes, it is. It's like the sound of a symphony to my ears. It's like holy water on my skin. Holy water, like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. Your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips.
Listen to you, dear friends. Thank you for joining today. And thank you for taking the time to just be a part of this Nile Network broadcast. I want to go back into Genesis where I dropped off last week. Hopefully you were able to see last week's broadcast, but this week I want to start with chapter 8 of Genesis. And this occasion that we're seeing that's happening, the story line that is going on is Noah and his family are in the ark. And they have been there for a long time now. And we're talking about the time frame that we're looking at from Genesis chapter 6 to Genesis chapter 7 and 8 it's been a year that they have been in the ark. Now, some of us probably missed the time frame because we're thinking that, well, it rained 40 days and 40 nights and Noah dropped the boat anchor and he was able to get the animals off and he was able to get off and start a new world. But wait a minute, there was a lot of time that elapsed between the time that the door was shut by God of the ark and then the time that Noah felt the actual urging or need to release a bird to find out if there was any place that was dry. So I want to get started on chapter 8 of Genesis. And it reads like this. Then God turned his attention to Noah and all the wild animals and farm animals with him on the ship. God caused the wind to blow and the floodwaters begin to go down. The underground springs were shut off. The windows of heaven closed and the rain quit. Inch by inch, the water lowered. After 150 days, the worst was over. On the 17th day of the 7th month, the ship landed on Ararat, the mountain range. The water kept going down until the 10th month. On the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountain came into view. After 40 days, Noah opened the window that he had built into the ship. He sent out a raven. It flew back and forth, waiting for the floodwaters to dry up. Then he sent a dove on to check on the flood conditions, but it couldn't even find a place to perch. Water still covered the earth. Noah reached out and caught it, brought it back into the ship. He waited 7 more days and sent out the dove again. It came back in the evening with a freshly picked olive leaf in its beak. Noah knew that the flood was about finished. Now, I want you to realize again, I just want to reiterate and reemphasize for some people that may not have caught the first part of this, is that Noah first sent out the raven. The raven was sent out and the raven just went back and forth, flew back and forth. It didn't say that the raven came back into the ship, didn't come back into Noah's hand so he can bring him in. I do believe that this is very significant because the dove was totally different. The dove went out, flew around, looked for a place to perch, looked for a place to sit its feet. But when it didn't find a place, it came back to the ark. And Noah brought the dove back in. I know that I've already said it, but I want to say it again. We have to be disciplined. This is an application for our life. We have to be disciplined enough if there is no rest that we need to come back to a place of safety. If there is no safety, we need to come back to the place of safety that we know. In God, there is safety. Don't be like the raven. Don't be like the bird that just flew back and forth, just kept going, looking for a place, even though there was no place of rest. I'm leaning in because I want somebody to get this. Don't leave your place of safety just to find a place of unsafety, of just comfort, of just the norm, when God has built a place for you. The ark was for that bird. The ark was for the family of Noah. That was the place of safety until the flood dissipated, until there was a place of safety built around the earth, around the place, around the mountains. Some people can't wait. Some people cannot be patient enough to wait until God provides that place of safety. I'm moving on. Here we go. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the first day of the first month, the flood had dried up. Noah opened the hatch of the ship and saw dry land. By the 27th day of the second month, the earth was completely dry. The earth was completely dry. Noah and his family and the animals had been in the ark an entire year. They had sheltered in place an entire year, 365 days plus. Some of y'all might get this. Don't let your guard down. Don't try to find your place without God putting the stamp of approval on it. Don't try to be the one that goes to and fro looking despite God not giving you permission, giving you authority to take ground, to take places. Some places are not for us. Do you know that? Everybody has a place. Everybody has a purpose. But all places are not for you. All purposes are not for you. All gifts are not for you. Everything in this world is not for you. Everybody is not for you. Now, once you find your place, once you find where you're supposed to be, that's where your provisions will be at. Every time God gets ready to do something, he builds places before he puts people in those places. I keep reiterating Genesis. In the very beginning, God took time to build and orchestrate and create the environment, the place, before Adam and Eve was placed in that place. Sometimes what we want to do is go to a place and build it all around us, instead of allowing God to put us in our place so that we can find our purpose, so that we can work in and with the provisions that God has for us. Some of you will get that. Some of you will get that soon. You will understand that every place is not for you. Every place is not for you. I keep saying it. I will say it one more time. Every place is not for you. God has a place. So let's look at what God spoke now. God spoke to Noah in the 601st year of his life, in the second month, in the 27th day. God spoke to Noah, leave the ship, leave the ship. Now Noah had direction. Now Noah is hearing from God. Now Noah is given permission to leave the ship. Some people don't want to leave. Some people don't like to leave that place that they have built around them. Despite all the provisions being gone from that place, everything that you need to sustain life is gone. But God has a new place, but some people don't want to leave. Don't want to leave the comfort, the safety of that place. Yeah, I'm coming right back.
Hello, this is Bishop Richard Prelm, proud pastor of Connections Church International, the Church Without Walls, Church Online, where we use technology to get people into the Word and the Word into people. Now I would like to share with you some of my favorite scriptures on prayer. One of the greatest tools in our arsenal as Christians is prayer. Jeremiah 29:12, then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will answer you. Philippians 4:6, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Psalms 102:17, he regards the prayer of the destitute and does not despise them. Matthew 26:41, watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Job 42:10, and the Lord restored the fortunes of Job when he had prayed for his friends. And the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had had. 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18, rejoice always, praying without ceasing, giving thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. And Matthew 11:25, and whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also who is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. This has been the Bishop.
So Noah is given the permission now to disembark the place that had been their safety place for an entire year. Here it is. Noah embarked with his sons and wife and his son's wife. Then all the animals, crawling creatures, birds, every creature on the face of the earth left the ship, family by family. Everything left the ship. There was a purpose for the ship. Now that purpose is complete. They were not meant to stay in the ark forever. They were not meant to sojourn only in the ship, in the ark. The ship or the ark was God's way of sustaining the people during that year. But now it's time for them to move. It's time for them to move. And I think about the times in the military when I know that we went from place to place during peacetime. We would set up camp. We would have training places where we would set up our camp. And we would get so comfortable. Everything would be laid out for us. We would know where the latrines were. That's bathroom for you civilian folks. We would know where the latrines were. We could find them in the dark. We could find the latrines at 2 a.m. in the morning if needed. We knew where the mess hall was. That was our place to eat for you civilian folk. So we knew where our tent was that we slept in. We knew where the mess hall was. We knew where the latrines were. We knew our defensive positions, our fighting positions. We knew where all of those were. And if we stayed there several weeks, we got comfortable. We laid out our sleeping bags on cots and we took out things out of our duffel bag, and we made it nice and comfortable. We had lights, we had boxes that we put our items on, and we were really comfortable. And then the commander would say, it's time to move. I remember always not really liking the idea of packing up all those things that we had laid out, all those things that have become comfort or comfortable for us. Now we're packing them up. We're putting them on a truck, and we're getting ready to go to a new location. We had to do it because there was a new objective. There was a new mission. There was a change of mission that occurred. And so what we would do is pack everything up and get in our trucks. And we would look at the map. And we would go to our new locations. When we got to our new locations, we would start setting up our defensive positions. Those are one of the first things that we would do. We got to set up a place of defense. We would set up places so that we knew that if the enemy came in, we would be able to have the vantage point to see them. After that, we would set up our sleeping arrangements. We would set up the mess tent. We would have a place that we would put latrines. It would be a new location. And I remember the first night, we kind of stumbled around a little bit until we found where we were going. Yeah, it took a little longer because we were just in a new place. So it took a little bit longer to find those places at night. Even during the day, there was challenges sometimes finding where the mess hall was. You step out, and if you were not a part of setting up the mess hall, you had to get instructions how to get there, get directions. Can I say that God does the same thing? When he changes our mission, when he changes our locations where we're supposed to be at, there are times that we stumble around trying to figure out where God is leading us, where God is telling us to be. How is this location going to be? What am I supposed to do while I'm here? If it's dark, Lord, lead me. Let your light so shine so that I can see your glory, your presence, your vision. So as God provides us new locations, new places, he puts those places in order. He provides the provisions at the new place. So when we get there, our provisions are already there. Yeah. Noah disembarked, Noah and his family. He found out that he was in the place where God wanted them to be. They left the ship. They left the ark. Some of you need to leave some places. God is trying to get you to a new place, but you're so comfortable in that place you are. It doesn't matter if it's falling down around you. You're afraid to move. You're afraid to get out of that place and move to a new place. It doesn't matter if you've been there a long time. Maybe the rent is high. Maybe it keeps going up. Maybe the place is dilapidated. Maybe it's run down. But because we're comfortable, we're afraid to move. But God has another place. He has another place that your provisions are at. But if we fail to listen, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss the move. Noah waited until the proper time. Now watch what Noah did when he came out of the ark, the 601st year of his life in February. Noah built an altar to God. Noah built an altar to God. He selected clean animals and birds from every species and offered them as burnt offerings on the altar. God smelled the sweet fragrance and thought to himself, I'll never again curse the ground because of people. I know that they have this bent toward evil from an early age, but I'll never again kill off everything living as I've just done. God declared this. God spoke this, that he would never kill off everything again, as he did during the flood. For as long as earth lasts, planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never stop. Or while the earth remains, seed time and harvest. That means that we will have seasons of planting while the earth remains. There will be seasons of harvest while the earth remains. The sun will come up during the day, the moon at night. There will be crops. There will be seeds planted in its season, and we can see a harvest.